UFC 324 is tomorrow. Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo, and of course, Silva versus Arnold Allen. Now, these are some banger fights, and I'm really hyped, so let's go over it. First up, Arnold Allen versus, of course, Silva. Now, this is a banger of a fight. I have to say, this is going to be the fight of the night. Now, both of them said they're going to be like a guaranteed war, which will equal out to a $324,000 bonus, according to Silva, proposed to Dana White. Dana White accepted. That's got me hyped. I think they're both motivated for that fight, especially now, of course, with Silva wanting to pay off his wedding, of course. It's a big deal. And this is going to be the fight of the night. I can guarantee you that. Both guys like to go to war. Arnold Allen, I think people forget where this man was before his last two losses in Max Holloway versus Movsar Evloev. First of all, those are two top talents in the division that the division could offer, at the moment, of course. And it's okay to lose to those guys because this guy is a beast in the striking realm. And he's got some pretty good front chokes as well. Very similar to Silva. Silva is a beast in the striking realm and has some pretty good front chokes as well, as we saw him face Bryce Mitchell. They both have a tendency to go for that ninja choke, which is pretty interesting. I think this is a pretty even playing field for both fighters. Silva coming off a KO loss, and then you got Arnold Allen coming off a 2-year layoff. The inactivity, we're going to see how it is for Arnold Allen, of course, but it's an overall interesting fight, and I'm really excited. I want you guys to drop down below right now. Who do you got in that fight? Next up, we got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Deiveson Figueiredo weighed in much overweight over the 135-pound weight class at 138.5 pounds. That's not a good look for him, especially that he's fighting at a higher weight class than he generally did over the course of his career. He's not competing at a higher weight class and did not look so good in his last fight. And I think that's going to carry over here. I think we're going to see probably the worst Deiveson Figueiredo we've ever seen, if I'm being quite honest. And I think we're going to see a big win for Umar Nurmagomedov, which will not catapult him to a title shot, but will catapult him to a #1 contenders fight. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. I'm hyped for this fight, as both fighters kind of have some title implications in this fight. Song Yadong, he's riding a win over Henry Cejudo. He's looking to beat Sean O'Malley and try to get a #1 contenders fight, which I think will be versus Umar Nurmagomedov if he does win that fight. Whereas Sean O'Malley, if he wins this fight, he could get catapulted straight to a title shot, realistically, guys. You got to remember, name value is more important. With the Paramount deal especially, they're looking for hyped-up fights. Even though I don't believe it is deserving to get a title shot off of this fight, they'll probably look at him versus Petr Yan in the future if Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili does not get made soon. Who do I got in this fight? It's a pretty close fight because you got Song Yadong, who has been working on his judo a lot, but he's always struggled with one thing in his UFC career, which is staying on top of the guy once he takes them down. And versus a guy like Sean O'Malley with some great scrambles, I can see Sean O'Malley getting up and putting in that work on the feet, and I just feel that his distance management is going to be too much for Song Yadong on the feet, and I'm going to take Sean O'Malley to not get a finish here, but get a pretty good decision. For the main event, you got Paddy Pimblett facing off against Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje, he's got those pretty good leg kicks, of course. He has some very good boxing for the division in MMA, of course. And Justin Gaethje carries a load of power in his strikes. Now, Paddy Pimblett, he's a very awkward guy on the feet. Not the best striker, as he does cross his feet a lot with that footwork. It's not so good. He keeps his chin high, and you got to look out for that if Justin Gaethje's coming at you. Now, here's the thing. Both guys have one thing in common. They always find success in the clinch, which is pretty interesting because both are going to look to enter the clinch and both are going to try to find success here. And I feel that in that first round, if we see one is much more dominant in the clinch than the other, I think I'm going to have the fight decided. Paddy Pimblett, he looks for the takedowns often within the clinch, as he's not a very, aggressive guy in the double leg department, the single leg department. He uses more judo to take the guys down, or random submissions from the clinch. Whereas Justin Gaethje, he goes for the knees, he goes for the elbows, and mainly those leg kicks. He has incredible well, I don't know, it's hip flexibility. The way he's able to kick your calf from there with full force, not even a tap. You know, if you've trained in MMA, you know how hard it is to just kick someone that hard the way he does, swinging his full hips with full hip rotation. It's incredible. My pick for that fight, I'm going to go Paddy Pimblett by submission. I just feel that Justin Gaethje, over the course of his career, when he's faced very good grapplers, he's not had success. Then again, we've seen him versus Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm not saying that Paddy Pimblett's on their level at all. I'm just saying when we've seen him face top grapplers, it hasn't gone so well for him. That's why I'm leaning towards Paddy Pimblett. Guys, make sure to drop down your picks for UFC 324. I want to know, who do you got in these 4 fights? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one.